In film, there are many types of transitions that could push the story along. Like lighting transitions. Or one of my personal favorite, the match cut. But what makes these transitions cinematic or feel like a movie? Well, let's find out. Hey, what's happening? My name is Ryan, and if you're new with us, welcome. I truly appreciate you being here. Now, I say this a lot, but in a film or movie, it's the goal to keep the viewer engaged in the story. Not always, but usually. So when it comes to transitions, it's the director's job to work with the cinematographer and the crew and the editing team to make for seamless transitions that kind of go unnoticed and help us to keep more focused on the story and push the narrative along. Now, this isn't something that we would do all the time. Our transitions don't always have to be seamless. Sometimes you want for the audience to see the transition because it plays a major role in the film. But we're gonna get into that a little bit later in the video. However, most of the time we wanna try and create transitions that are motivated by the narrative and push the story along. Kind of like I just did right now. You just saw me turn my head from over there to now over here, which actually motivates this transition. This is called the cut on action. When our character starts the action in the first shot, then we cut to the second shot mid-action, where then our character completes this action. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say action in this video, so I apologize in advance. Now, this is something I did in one of my most recent videos where I had 3 different cuts and just changed my shirt for each one, but performed the same action in each one of those clips to make it seem like one scene. And my purpose for doing this was to try and imply that there was a lot of time passing by. Wow, I just rhymed that entire thing. And the reason I did this was to try and show that there were multiple days passing by. Instead of creating a scene for each and every day, I made a montage of clips to quickly and smoothly push the narrative along. Now, this is actually a type of match cut, but you don't have to get creative with this type of transition. You could do something as simple as just turning the corner or sitting down in a chair. Cutting on action adds fluidity to the transition, making it seamless for the viewer. But not every transition is meant to go unnoticed. In fact, some transitions are meant to be noticed, but for a very specific reason. Let's take Everything Everywhere All at Once, an A24 movie directed by the Daniels. This movie utilizes the match cut, which is utilized to showcase the many universes our main character Evelyn is going through all at once. And this is a really cool way of showing Evelyn's point of view to the viewer. We get to experience going through these multiple universes together as the character and as the audience, and it just says a lot more than dialogue could. And then when the dialogue comes in to explain all of this, it then makes even more sense, which makes it a really enjoyable experience. But the match cut doesn't have to be used creatively as a noticeable transition. It could also be something more seamless. For example, if you have a character that is cooking some food, you can create a match cut to kind of pass the time along and give us a seamless transition into that next scene where the character's eating the food. Because both the pot and the dish are the same shape, this works really well from getting us from point A to point B, where our character is now enjoying the meal. This is also a really great way to keep our eye on the main point of interest. Going back to that scene that I showed earlier in the video, like I said, I used a type of match cut, and that was just to be able to keep the viewer's eye right in the middle. As time was passing by, we're paying attention to this character and what they're doing. But that kind of leads me to the next transition I want to talk about, and that is another really great technique that often goes unnoticed, the eye trace. This technique uses the natural movement of the viewer's eye. By having an understanding of where our eyes move naturally across the frame, this will help the filmmaker and editor place things of importance in a specific part of the frame that follows that movement. Kind of like the scene you just saw now. Our character is moving to the left, and so the audience is naturally looking to the left. And then you can cut to the next shot where your character continues to move left, giving off for a really smooth transition into the next part of the scene. And you also don't even have to limit this to movement. Let's say we want our viewer's eye on the right side of the frame because we have something of significance on that side of the frame, like this phone booth. All we have to do is just keep everything at the right side of the frame, and this will keep our viewer's eye on that main point of interest. You could also use color or even lighting like we did in the intro at the beginning of this video. Because there's such a stark difference between our subject and the darker room behind them, our eye naturally follows our character even though our character is moving quickly. And all of this is just a really great way to keep the viewer's eye on the main point of interest. Using transitions like the ones we talked about in this video can provide a natural flow for your story and help to keep the viewer engaged. And just to illustrate this a little bit further, I've been doing this entire video, whether it was a whip pan or filling the frame, and I even utilized visuals and audio to the last transition up to this point. And none of these transitions are gonna make or break the video, but the cool thing is, you could do this too if you're looking for that cinema style way to seamlessly transition from one shot or scene to the next. And if you've made it this far into the video, I know that you're dedicated to the craft of creating impactful films and powerful stories. So as always on this channel, I just want to encourage you to take these tips and techniques, practice them often, and start applying them to your own work, because number one, this will truly elevate your films, and number two, you've got this, friend. Well, that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. If you liked this video or you learned something, please click the like button down below. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, friend. Oh, wait. Good, you're still here. There's one thing that I wanted to mention, and I wanted to do it at the very end of this video. First of all, if you're still here, thank you so much. You guys are the elite, my friends, and I'm super grateful. But another reason why I wanted to do this right now is because I want to give you guys a special heads up. We are about to hit the 5K milestone, and I just mentioned this in my community post that I wanted to do a giveaway. This truly is just a pure giveaway. I just want to give you guys something in return for all the support and love and encouragement that you guys have been giving me. I will have all of those details over to you soon. Thank you so much for being amazing, and let's keep lifting each other up and making films. God bless.